We are starting off here in Lijiang Tower of the Lunatic High versus the Miraculous Youngsters squad. Lunatic High, of course, considered one of the top teams in the world, actually. And we are running out here right off the bat with Miraculous Youngsters running with a double DPS composition with Doomfist and McCree. Leto, of course, taking the high, the very, very high ground, the air, in fact, as Farah getting very, very low. But the first to go down is actually Miro, the tank of Lunatic High, followed shortly by Fleta. And it looks like Zephyr is also shortly taken care of. Ru Hong is going to jump off the edge to reset with his team, and Miraculous Youngsters are going to take the point first here on Lijiang Tower. Typically, we have seen Farah used on this map because of the amazing mobility Farah has. Clear skies up top. But because of that, McCree on Miraculous Youngster, Fleta's just going to have to switch off to this Genji in order to try to take out the supports of Miraculous Youngsters. However, Miraculous Youngster has, I'm just going to call them Mai from now on, has managed to hold with this McCree, just taking care of Lunatic High in conjunction with that Doomfist there. The Youngsters are going to have four ultimates here on this next fight. They used the sound barrier on the last fight to keep themselves up. But on this next one, they will have a Transcendence available for them. Lunatic High starting out with a sound barrier of their own, trying to push into the point. They've kind of split the Youngsters there, who backed out, but a great Diva Bomb from Zephyr has kept them at bay, killing 3 of the members of the Youngsters. Lunatic High now has control of the point and will start to gain some of that percentage as the Youngsters are already at 80%. Lunatic High only needing to invest the sound barrier in order to get this point and holding on to 3 ults of their own for this next defense onto the point. Youngster burned all 3 of their ultimates to try to defend, but it wasn't enough, as Zephyr's self-destruct kept them at bay. Lunatic High is cleaning up Toby with 3 kills as Lucio there, stopping them from continuing. It was a nice boop off the side. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it. I hope we have a replay of that we can look at later. Booping off the members of Youngster into an endless fall to their deaths. Rolling back in here, Youngsters going to be jumping in, but a Transcendence is popped from Ru Hong to try to keep Zephyr alive. Lunatic High's just going to push in and try to take out as many members of Youngsters as possible. You see my leave is last one standing, trying to get a meteor strike in there. And Youngsters are going to roll onto the point. Lunatic High has backed out and given them some of that space, but the tanks have now began to roll in. You see here now, Lunatic High is keeping them off the point for now. We're at 92% on the point for Lunatic High, but we're just a sliver away from the Youngsters gaining control back, and now we are in overtime. Quick headshot onto Toby from the McCree. And the Youngsters are going to be able to get control of the point and start building towards their own win here. Lunatic High only needs to win one more battle. In fact, the next battle is going to determine the fate of this map. See Lunatic high rolling in here from the back. Fleta has his Dragon Blade ready and gets a great kill onto the Lucio. McCree falls shortly after and a Dragon Blade is out. Can this Dragon Blade clean up the point enough for Lunatic High to gain control? It looks like it. Only gets the kill onto the Diva, but if it's enough to keep them off the point, that'll do it. Lunatic High grabs the first point of Lijiang Tower. And you can... What you saw there is Lunatic High did a great job of taking control of that point first, and then managing to keep control with clever ult usage in order to get this first point. And now as we move on to the second point, we'll see what the youngsters can do in order to keep Lunatic High at bay. If they had a great push there at the start, getting 85% before Lunatic High could even get 1%. So if they can keep that up, use their ultimates in a clever way, then they should be able to come out ahead. Rolling in here onto the second point. Youngsters are going to be rolling with this Junkrat composition, paired with a Soldier 76. This is more of a steady push type of composition as opposed to the dive composition that's been so popular in the East. And right now, Lunatic High has managed to keep the youngsters at bay, now rolling onto the point as it becomes unlocked. Lunatic High is the first to be capturing this point as the youngsters just stay at bay. Now you see the kills coming in for the side of Lunatic High. A lot of work from Fleta on that Genji to clean up on all the damage they had put in to the youngsters. Now, Lunatic High with a very quick Dragon Blade built, as well as a Transcendence ready for the next fight. Soldier 76 is going to come around the back here, followed by the rest of his team, but Fleta with the Dragon Blade is coming out. You see some great barriers used by the Zarya of the youngsters to keep the tanks alive from that Dragon Blade, keep them protected. And you see, because of that, had a lot of energy coming into this fight. Not many have gone down on the side of Lunatic High, but you can see their health bars there are very low, and they're all moving out to try to regroup with the rest of their team. A few have fallen, but they are regrouping now. Miraculous youngsters have taken the point and have built themselves 4 of their 6 ultimates. Lunatic High will be pushing in with 1 ultimate of their own, maybe 2 if Zephyr can build up the self-destruct. A great Earth Shatter there, right to start off this battle, as the youngsters just hold. Only 1 ultimate there to effectively stop this push. That Earth Shatter took out 3 and stopped Lunatic High from pushing in even further. Who Are You is the only member of Lunatic High with an ultimate. Zephyr will have one shortly. Let's see if they can use those 2 in conjunction to get past this point. Who Are You throws in the Pulse Bomb but gets nothing. Now Rouge, Hong, and Zephyr will have their ultimates to try to start out this fight. Graviton Surge from the side of youngsters, paired with a Riptire, gets some damage down, but is nullified by Rouge Hong's Transcendence. A sound barrier from the side of youngsters to try to keep their defense alive. 1 down on the side of Lunatic High, none from youngsters, as Lunatic High is going to back out, try to reset, and get 1 more push here before the end of this map. They may be able to get pushes, 2 pushes out. It just depends on what Lunatic or what youngsters' defense is going to look like. An Earth Shatter to start off this fight is going to start it off with Lunatic High losing 2. As you see, Toby in the back wasn't able to get there fast enough to start the overtime clock, as Miraculous Youngster wins the second map of Lijiang Tower. Pulling it back here with 1-1. This last map is going to decide the first game in this series. On Lijiang Tower. If Youngsters can do what they did there, grab the point and defend, they can win this map. What you saw was a great usage of Reinhardt in conjunction with Junkrat to hold on to that first choke, that first door outside of spawn. They were able to put in so much damage there on that first door that Lunatic High was never able to get past it. Great use of Junkrat there. And we're starting to see this more and more, where in the previous season of Apex, there was a lot of dive. In fact, in all the seasons of Apex, there's been a lot of dives. But we're seeing the strengths now of Reinhardt, those steady pushes, a wall to stop the attacking team from getting through. And that was a great usage. It's really because of the Junkrat buffs that we're starting to see that, because Junkrat's now able to get 2 concussion mines out. You can do a lot of damage on those doorways. Looks like there's some computer problems for Lunatic High here. Rujay Hong has some issues. We're going to go ahead and skip ahead to the next map in this game. Gates open and we start out here in the night market. Both teams running a dive comp, whereas Youngster is running again with that McCree Doomfist, and Lunatic High running with their trademark Genji Tracer composition. But to start off, the Youngsters will get the first kills and the first point as they push Lunatic High back into their spawn. As the point flips over in the favor of the Youngsters, they will set up here for their first defense. Kind of a late kill onto Zephyr has caused Lunatic High to have to wait a little bit, but they will be rolling on to this point shortly. Their tank's out first. You see that incredible damage that the Doomfist is able to get out with leave there on the Doomfist. But that wasn't the first kill. The first kill was onto Rujay Hong from Youngster's Zenyatta. Zenyatta able to get huge kills out with that Discord out. A lot of damage coming in. Miro goes down first. And shortly after, who are you? Followed by Toby. Youngster is just holding this doorway, stopping Lunatic High from getting through, punishing them for coming in one by one, and just cleaning up. Youngster now with 6 ultimates as My Late Young, it's a weird name, will shortly have their self-destruct ready. Leave comes in here, dives in, and a Transcendence is used by Rujay Hong to try to push through this choke. It hasn't worked yet. And Youngster answers back with a Transcendence of their own, followed by a Sound Barrier. See, Lunatic High is diving deep to try to get out the point, and they're starting to get kills in their favor. Their first kills coming out for this map, one by one, as they get 5 members of Lunatic High just exploding there in the confines of the buildings. They have gotten the point now, but 89% in favor of Youngster is what they're facing. Youngster only needing one more attack going in their favor in order to win this map. and win the first game of this series. Fleta here is focusing down that Diva, trying to demech it, and a Pulse Bomb onto the Zenyatta isn't going to do it. A Doomfist Meteor Strike to get out, and Lunatic High is finally successful in demeching the Diva. But the first kill is against Lunatic High. Rouge Hong popped that Transcendence to try to keep his team alive, but it was answered with a Transcendence from the side of Youngsters. And now Youngster has the advantage here. Most of the kills out, and most of the members on the point. They're going to flip it back over in their favor, and Lunatic High is going to have maybe one not solid attack to try to hold this point as 5 members roll in. Zephyr is going to come in first, try to get a kill onto the Doomfist, and a sound barrier coming out from Toby will try to keep his team alive. Youngsters answer with a sound barrier of their own, but Who Are You has a Dragon Blade ready. He's looking for the Zenyatta of Youngster, but he's not going to get it. While he fails to do so, however, his team has cleaned up on the point, and you see the kills coming in one after another onto the Youngsters as Lunatic High grabs the point. You saw an expert engagement there by Lunatic High. Who Are You singled out the supports of Youngster and kept them off the point, which allowed his team to do as much damage as possible and clean up the members of Youngster on the point. And then, with the supports being the only ones alive, oh, that was a dirty deflect there, stunning the McCree with his own flash bomb. And you see here, Youngsters weren't able to get a hold on their attack, and now they're falling one by one. Transcendence out from Rouge Hong to make sure the defense stays alive. Ironically, he's the one who doesn't stay alive, as Youngster Zenyatta gets on the point in order to start the overtime clock. McCree here with the Deadeye doesn't get anybody, as the members of Youngster are slowly getting off on the point and pushing out the members of Lunatic High. They're about a third of the way to capturing this point, and if they do so, they may be able to take this map. 4 members, now 5 members of Lunatic High down. I don't think they're going to be able to come back here and save it. Youngster takes the point, and the overtime clock runs down and wins them the map. You see some Lunatic High fans aren't too happy about that. But we move on to map number 2.